This is when you want to sing J. Cole, legal businessman. Bang, bang, boom.
I me say this a protege, eh? Homegrown with G. Cole, what you say, eh? We make them know what reggae music we a play, eh? Hey, this is Protege, the one and only representing for G. Cole, you know. Check it. Ease out.
And we say them not got no style like we. G. Cole, them not got no style like we. None of them no wicked, nor wild like we. Accurate, Kabaka Pyramid representing for the #1 selector and radio host. It's all about G. Cole. Keep it locked. Accurate.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Kali. I'm hanging out with your boy G. Cole on the Homegrown Show.
Yes. Welcome on all of this Homegrown with G. Cole coming to the Massive and Crew right about now. Lodge up, everybody listening in worldwide. All right, I got to big up, of course, the Massive and Crew listening in on radio, Royal Zion Highness fam on Royal Zion Highness Radio. All right, that's www.royalzionhighness.com. And of course, big up everybody listening in on Homegrown with G. Cole. I appreciate y'all big time. Those watching live on Facebook is a vibe, man. It's a vibe. Got to big up again everybody out there. Big up the Massive and Crew in continental Africa that sit back and enjoy the vibe. All right, those people in Hawaii locked in right now. Listen, I know the time difference is vast. Y'all stay with us, man. I appreciate you big time. When I say big time, I mean big time. Everybody right here. South Florida's representing right now. Sunrise is here. Pembroke Pines is here. Miramar's here. Gotta big up Palm Beach. Massive lodge up, all right? Lodge up on itself. Coral Springs is here with us. Lauder Hills here with us. I appreciate y'all big time. As always, much love, respect, thanks, honor, big up, all them things. To my nurses, my first responders, you know what I mean? All my healthcare professionals, everybody on the front line doing it day in, day out. Every day we're going to do that, all right? I appreciate y'all so much. Paramedics, you know what I mean? Again, nurses, doctors, all the medical practitioners, trust me, appreciate y'all. Firefighters, the good law enforcement people, not the whack ones, we appreciate you. Big time. Radiology techs, you know what I mean? The x-ray tech, the anesthesiologist, you know what? All the people in the maternity ward that's showing love right now and compassion, you know what I mean? People coming in droves. You got a whole bunch of things going on, but you got to bring life in the world or help to facilitate it. So guess what? Continue to do what you do. We appreciate you. All right? Big time. Okay? All the people out there in entertainment, man, that's bringing it back because guess what? Right about now, people are just so in despair and in need of some upliftment and some enlightening. You know, and music, entertainment, the stage. That's sometimes where we get that energy. For the most part, get that energy, that vibe, that upliftment from. You know what I mean? So all the people out there, all the stage production teams, and I mean, big up yourself, Ash. You know what I mean? One of the best in the business. You know what I mean? Best in the business. Gotta big up everybody, man. All the artists that's putting it together, trying to bring it back out there. We appreciate you. All the venues, all right? Promoters, good ones. You know what I mean? Everything and everyone. Again, musicians, artists, just everybody. We see theater trying to come back. So all the thespians out there, all the actors, you know what I mean? Folks in New York right now that's just glad to be getting ready to go back to work. All the stage hands at Broadway, you know, plays are coming back and stuff like that. So a lot of people that's been out of work are going to be back in work right now, and we appreciate that. All right, let's get the economy going. You know, we don't take things for granted, and sometimes we sit down and we say, hey, you know, hold your hand. You know what I'm saying? Chill, sit back, be patient, wear your mask. You know what I'm saying? I don't leave mine. You know, vaccinated or not. Wear your mask, practice your social distancing. Don't do all the craziness you ain't got to do. But at the end of the day, guess what? The bills got to get paid. So while we do all of this, we still got to figure out a way to get it on because people got to get back to their livelihoods, man. And not just to their livelihoods, but to their sanity. Them sanity up on the line, all right? A lot of people out there going wild, losing it, all right? But we don't promote and propose recklessness, so we want to say just be safe out there while you do it. We got a vibe to you, and again, remember, we're giving away this CD today, all right? Brand spanking new courtesy of Tad's Records. The whole compilation is not even out yet on iTunes. It's called Reggae Virus First Dose. Featuring Glenn Washington, Chesedek, Sophia Squire, Screwdriver, Sanchez, Little Hero, Anthony Cruz, Mikey Spice, Wayne Wade, Ray Darwin, Junior Farron, Michael Rose, and Dean Fraser. All right, it's a big joint. We're going to drop a joint or two off of it tonight. But in the meantime, between time, let's squeeze this one for my ladies, all right?
Yeah, man. And you can't ignore the sweetness of the music, man.
You just can't. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank y'all so much for vibing out with me, man. Big up everybody listening in on radio. Denny's, Wagwan, Gary, Wagwan, my Jersey, massive, Connecticut, massive, New York, massive, all right? The entire tri-state area, all right? Again, for those people that's going to be in New York, I got something for you, you know, a nice vibe coming up that you can go check out. And next week, you're going to be talking to some of the proprietors up there that's doing some dope stuff, all right? Some buds and some brushes and some get your paint on. It's nothing like being able to do something different, man. Something nice, something relaxing, something casual. You know what I'm saying? On a nice Friday evening, Saturday evening, Sunday evening when you want to just chill and just adult it. You know what I mean? Chill with some other grown folks. Do what you into. You know what I mean? So we got some information coming up on that for you. Listen, we're talking about time for the truth, man. Time for the truth. Where it comes from is I was having a conversation with some folks. We were out of town and large up yourself, Bill. Large up, Bill. Just out of town, you know, having a reasoning on a road trip. And you realize, even talking to family members and talking to friends, some close, some not so close, that we do a lot more existing, or many people do a lot more existing than we do living. It is a hard truth. It's a hard truth. You know, we talk about a systematic way of things, especially in nations like the US of A and others like it. You know, it's certain things are designed to keep you in the mill. You know what I mean? What Juna Gang said, that old slave mill, grinding slow but grinding still. You know what I mean? Or it's one of them situations, and not to you know, put it down, because at the end of the day, people come from near and far to enjoy a better life, a better quality of life. But that also is very, very relative, because remember, there's a difference with quality of life and standard of life. I've found that many other places enjoy a better quality of life, though they may not enjoy a better standard of life. There's a difference, right? But think about it. Since I was young, you know, 18, 19, being on my own, shoot, you know what? Growing up as a kid, I had an appreciation for life. I was reasoning with my brother Jayu today, and it's certain things we just don't ever want to get away from. I'm a kid still at home, man. I be annoying the crap out of my wife and my child. I just, it is what it is. You know, my kid's 21 right now, grown. I give her a space to do what she want to do. I mean, enjoy herself, but she's still around with daddy, still play with daddy, you know what I mean? And, you know, come through, harass me when she wants to. But that's my kiddo. You know what I mean? And we still go out and do things together. And even when we're all out together, you know, I catch myself. It's like I can't walk beside my kid without put my arm around her. You know what I mean? And even sometimes she be walking through this and we're together and she holds on to my hand. It's almost like she going back to be 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. It's just a bond that we have. And that's my kiddo. You know what I mean? So as a result of that, since she was young, we always lived when it was just the two of us. Sometimes it was me, her, my wife, whether it was her mom, whether it was my mom, whether it was whomever. But the constant common denominator was always her and I. You know what I mean? So it's something, and it's something that I cherish. And I always made sure that I lived and I taught her about living. But sometimes as people, we will misconstrue things a lot. You know what I mean? And folks will say, well, you know, we get caught up in the matrix sometimes and get caught up in worrying about tomorrow that we don't enjoy today. Though I'm a firm believer in you should always have a plan for tomorrow. You should always get focusing on tomorrow. All right. People say, boy, tomorrow not promised. Nothing is promised. But ain't nothing like not having a plan or waking up tomorrow. Not you. Them say tomorrow ain't promised. But if you ain't got no plan until you get tomorrow, it's not going to be fun. You know what I'm saying? So make your plans, live, enjoy. What we can't do is change yesterday. So don't focus too much on the past and the mistakes. Learn from them, of course. Learn from them, of course. Learn from them, of course. But focus on today. And contrary to popular belief, it is important to focus on tomorrow. We all need a plan. We all need a plan, all right? So for those people who haven't gotten the retirement situation tightened up yet, get it tightened up. It don't matter if you're 20. All right. I remember having conversations at 20 years old about my retirement, and people looking at me like I'm nuts. Because here's the reality of it. Me not plan for your work too long, you know, my lad. You understand? Trying to get it all done Mortgage all paid off, everything all paid off. You know what I mean? Trying to make sure I continue to live my life debt free. So I'm reach 50 years old. Me not have it done. Nuh-uh. Now, wishful thinking, right? Wishful thinking. And it doesn't always go that way, but that's the plan. Aim for the skies, and if you miss, you might just get the treetops, right? So if I say, yo, trying to be retired at 50, trying to make sure that I could chill out at 50, I might not get it at 50. But because I'm striving for 50, I might just roll up on it at 55. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that I always implore everybody, man. Focus, focus, focus. However, we do see sometimes that, you know, we're talking about even college and stuff like that, different tertiary institutions. We are kind of taught to conform, live a certain life, ascertain certain things, you know. And people will say, well, the Bill Gates of the world didn't think that way. People will say the Elon Musks of the world didn't think that way. And it is so true. So true. There's also only one Elon Musk and there's also only one Bill Gates. I'm not one. So I can't really even look at it and say, well, you know what, we're going to do this. I remember being in high school, military school in Jamaica. And we had a guest speaker one day. And that guest speaker just happens to have been Mr. Gordon Butch Stewart. All right, for those people who know about Butch Stewart, you know, wealthy man. At the time, it was all about Appliance Traders Limited and stuff like that, you know, and super clubs region. Just a lot going on. And he was our guest speaker, and he sat there and he was talking to us about aspirations and goals and writing down those plans. I've been hearing that since I was a kid, writing those plans down, and I've lived by that. You got some goals and some plans, write them down, make them a reality, put them on paper, right? So he was giving that to us. But one thing I grabbed, you know, I remember at the end of these little symposiums and speeches and what we'd have at school, you know, they'd always ask us what we grabbed from it. You're not asking you to paraphrase everything that happened and give a dissertation on everything that went on, but what did you learn? What is it that you grasp from all this? And it's a pressure moment to ask them kind of questions, because, you know, you don't know what teachers are looking for, and oftentimes, you know, they want to hear something insightful and something powerful, right? But what I grasped from Butch Stewart's conversation with us was that even though he worked hard, even though he was driven, even though his eye was on the prize, and some people, let's just call a spade a spade, some people are destined to be in certain direction. You can't, you know, hard work does help, but, you know, certain things are lineage, certain things are family, certain things are people have help, different things, you know, the playing field is not the same for everybody. And the one thing I appreciated about somebody like that is that he never tried to pretend that it was, you know, but what I grabbed from that, and when they asked, what did I learn? What did I get? What I learned was never stop living. He didn't come across as one of those stoic businessmen who was just all about business and I'm always focused and I'm up 24/7 and I don't enjoy myself. I ain't got no friends, because having friends will take away from your, you know what I mean? Your drive and all that stuff. No, he lived. And he enjoyed life. And if he was up there for an hour and a half speaking, about 35, 45 minutes into it, my man went left and started telling us about how he would cut school and go fishing and go hang out with the fellas. And even as a grown person, sometimes there are certain little things that he needed to go do, and he never made it to it because you're holding a conversation with somebody, and it's an important conversation, though it may not be to the average ear much more than a trivial conversation, but it is an important conversation. I had a conversation today, which is just me and my brethren talking, and nobody would deem it an important conversation, but it was, right? Sound trivial to the world, to the masses, but it was, right? And he had even mentioned back then, you know, a conversation he should have had, and I'm talking about, maybe 28 years ago, right? 29 years ago, something like that, right? But now I'm a kid, and he's telling me telling us about a conversation that he should have had and never had it. You know, somebody called him or stopped by, I don't remember, the office in Otrace or whatever, and wanted to have a conversation, but he was just on the go and he had to go. So he was like, yo, let me go do all of this and get back. And he never got back, right? And you know how it goes. Hours turn into days, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months. And he said, right when he thought about the fact that he needed to go have the convo, he got word that the first one was no longer with us. You know what I mean? And we're not trying to make it daunting and make it seem like, okay, you know what? People are just gone and dying every day. It does happen, but people are also living every day. And I'm only saying that to say sometimes we've got to live. And sometimes they paint the wrong picture that enjoying life and being successful in life don't go hand in hand, right? Or they make it seem like only when you reach the mountaintop, only when you reach greatness and what they would like to consider financial success, only then do you enjoy life. Nah, right? I'm not rich. I've traveled a lot. I've probably seen 30 countries, right? Just for vacation, because I like to live, right? And share some of those moments with my little girl. It was back, she's 2 years old, and we traveled the globe together. That was what I like to do, and I wanted to live, and I can't live and not live with my young one. You know what I mean? We got to teach them also how to live so that they know, right? Sometimes I talk to my pops and I gotta, even though he's older than me, I gotta push him into doing certain things because I realize, and I've said to him before, I'm younger than you, but I've lived a lot more than you. So you've lived a lot more. You've existed a lot more years than I have, but I've lived a lot more than you have, right? Some people deem living, seeing the struggles. You haven't seen life yet. You don't live nothing yet. No, that's not the type of living I'm talking about. Live, enjoy, right? It is very, very healthy. Very healthy. I got this there's a video that's circulating. You probably have seen it, where somebody was saying the lady was saying, I'm not going to work hard and save my money and put it down and pass it on to my kids. I'm not leaving them Jack. She said, I raised them up right, took care of them, paid for them to go to school, got them a good education, and so forth. So now that I did that, I gave them what I was supposed to give them, right? So she's like, my dough is my dough, and I'm going to go enjoy that. Now, while we have different vantage points and viewpoints when it comes to thoughts like that, me personally, it's important for me to leave something for my kid and my nieces and whatnot, not godsons and goddaughters. But at the end of the day, my job on this earth is not to toil so that I can make them fat and happy. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go and live. So if I know, which I know I'm not going to know exactly when my day of expiration or my time of expiration is going to be, but let's say for argument's sake, I got an insight. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the math. I'm going to get my accountant and I'm going to do the math. I'm going to say, okay, I need to set this aside for my children, right? I'm a child and I'm going to call them all my children. We good? Yeah. All right. I need to set this aside for my final expenses. We good? Okay. What I got left? This is what you got left. Okay. Let's go. Right? And we burning it. We blowing. We living it up. And I'm talking about frivolous and stupidness. I'm talking about enjoy. And even me saying not frivolous and stupid, that's relative too. Because I like to travel. You may not. You may just like to play golf. Right? You know, I even realized something. We're taught to judge, and I do a lot of that. You know, like casinos and stuff like that. I can't see it, man, because it's like, you know, the house always wins. So don't get me wrong. You got people I know people now who they go in the casino, they ball out, they come out always successful. But majority of people don't. And I'm always looking at it like, yo, casino, now I got to throw my money on all them things. But they're having fun. So as long as you're not gambling away the house and gambling away certain things, if you say, yo, I got a certain amount of money, I'm going to the casino. Do you? Right? Sometimes we live here in South Florida, and my mindset a lot of times, I'm guilty of this, is that if I don't get on a plane and I don't get on a ship or something like that, it's not vacation. And I don't think it's because of the destination. I just don't feel rested unless I'm in a place where I'm not reachable. I'm not easily reachable. You know what I mean? If I've gotten on a plane, I've flown to another country, or I sailed somewhere else, or whatever the case may be, I pick that thing up when I pick that thing up and I have my Wi-Fi connection, whatever the case may be. But it's not just there to ring at any time. But I've also discovered lately that let's find a one spot or a two spot that's not too far. You know what I mean? 2 hours commute or whatever. Shoot, sometimes check and see what's going on these flights. Oh, snap. They got a deal over here. We could fly to such and such. Let's rock out. And I'm out. Right? Now, again, I don't presume or pretend to think that everybody's circumstance is the same. But living is living. You have people who are doing great financially and they still don't live. You have people who are not doing so well financially and they are living. Right? So we're talking about just living. It's very healthy and it's something we got to get into. Suzette says, it's so important, G. My grandfather had a life policy at 18. He died at 94. My grandmother tasked me to call the insurance company to advise he had passed and give the policy number. That after that was done, I was getting ready to hang up. She said to me, what about the other policies? We were in total. So yes, it can prepare your families to come in with generational wealth. That's how the rich gets richer, because they plan from an early age. That I will never get away from. I tell people this all the time. It's the decisions that I made between the age of 20 and 25 have been why I haven't struggled so much. I'm not going to act like I've never had the struggles, but I think my struggles were the earlier days. And as a result of whatever decisions were made in those early years, they prepared me and set me up to where I could be all right. You know what I mean? Still got to work hard, doing my thing, busting my butt, making my sacrifices. But those early years into adulthood, it's those decisions. And I tell my kid right now at 21 years old, the decisions you make right now for the next couple of years, right, is going to make the difference. Those decisions will determine your success or your failure. Now, can you bounce back? Absolutely. Can you have a struggle and bounce back? Yeah, you can. But imagine if you had that head start. What up, Polly? Julian says, live while you're making a living. So true. Now, going back to that whole concept of live while you're making a living, Julian, you know, I've had, in the last couple of companies that I've worked with, I've been blessed to where my position, I work directly with my CEOs and company owners and stuff like that. So I've had the luxury of being able to have conversations with folks, right? And the conversations that I've had with many of them, believe it or not, even though they're the owners of the company and they're running the company and they're looking at the bottom line, I mean, these are the companies primarily that I'm talking about weren't global conglomerates and stuff like that. But they're multi-million-dollar corporations, right? But these folks, they enjoyed themselves, and there's a certain normality to them that was really admirable when it comes to their families and stuff like that, and enjoying. And people like those also want you to enjoy too, because though the wheels do turn and the cogs do turn, they do know that there's something called burnout. And if people are burnout, they're not productive, right? But at the end of the day, I've had people who own companies say straight up, listen, people can be replaced. And it's not about you dying or you not being able to do the job, but sometimes there's this thing called wear and tear. And sometimes you're just done, right? You're just done. And when you're done, they have to replace you. It's not, I don't even want to take the approach like, well, you're just a number, you're replaceable, which you are. But a lot of times they're replacing you because they have to replace you, right? So when they replace you and all them things, did you enjoy anything while you were there? Are you able to enjoy yourself right about now? If you've dedicated everything, your all to that, what was happening and what were you missing out on during the period of time when you were so dedicated to the 9 to 5 and to the craft, right? Because a lot of times we got people who, they always tell the story of the hard work. And listen, hard work trumps everything. I believe in it. I believe in it. I believe in it. But when people are talking and teaching children about success and how to be successful, we preach hard work a lot. We don't preach living and we don't preach life. On this side of the globe, we teach our children to grow up and to marry whatever the revenue stream is, right? To be intimate with the job, the career, whatever the revenue stream is, right? And to have a casual relationship with the things that actually should make you happy. Your family, your children, your hobbies, your dreams, your aspirations, right? We teach, unfortunately, we teach that, right? We teach people to have a binary look on everything and you know, we just live in these homogenized societies. And I think that's what's being created. You know, and I can't knock it because even the institutions of education, that's a business too. So they do what they do. But at the end of the day, we need to teach our children to freaking live, right? Not to be reckless about it and to take what money you don't have and go out there and go blow it, but live. Just like how if the light needs to be paid, you're going to figure out how to pay it. If the water needs to be paid, you're going to figure out how to pay it. If the car note needs to be paid, you're going to figure out how to pay it. You need to take a vacation. You need to chill. We need to decompress, to unwind, to de-stress, to live a little. You know, traveling across the globe, learn one thing. Poverty is everywhere. Right? It is what it is. We also learn that life and life struggles are everywhere. Business and commerce is everywhere. But yet still, sanity is depleted in some places more than the others. That's why I always talk about the concept of standard of living versus quality of living. Here in the US, we endorse a higher quality of living. It's the house with the picket fence and the big yard and the pool and the cars and the granite. And, you know, the granite's on the countertop, you know what I mean? Let's upgrade the appliances. Whew. Let's do all that. You know what I mean? But do you enjoy? Because once you've done all that, if you're not careful, then once you've overseen the contractors put in the granite countertops and put in the new appliances and put in a new bathtub and redo the bathroom and redo the kitchen, right? And resurface the pool and do it the way you want to do it, right? And you get the landscapers to come in and do the landscaping and everything, and you sit back and you look at it and you say, yup. I think that's what they were talking about when they said the American dream. Yup. I think that's what they were talking about when they say, go get it. Right? And then you hop in your car, you got to head off to work now because you know what? You need to go pay for this. And yeah, family might enjoy it, you know, because they're home, but you're not. And sometimes you're not the only one not home. Maybe you're gone and the wife's gone too, so the kids are there. And what the purpose that this was supposed to serve, it really doesn't serve. It doesn't serve for that spot that the family comes together and enjoy themselves and live. And then you sometimes, you know, vacation time come, everybody wants to take a break, but you can't take a break. Let me not say you can't. You don't want to because you can't detach from what's going on here. So sometimes you send the wife and the kids on that vacay. Right? Or sometimes you deny them the opportunity to go vacay. They're there chilling miserable like you. And the years go by and they grow up and they head off to find their own families and do what they do. And you get older and your health is a little fleeting now and you're not as strong as you used to be. You can't do all the things you used to do and work as hard as you used to work. And you sit down at home now and you look back on the pages of your life and you realize, I haven't really lived. So as I say, yes, so many places locally you can experience. Didn't know there was a mineral spring in Northport. Yep, on the West Coast, absolutely amazing, right? And it's no different from like being in Jamaica. And there's so many things and we don't even see them, we don't experience them because I know that we really, you know, I mean, we live in, right? People come from all across the globe to experience it. Pearly May says, yes, Lord. Right? Yes, Lord. Beverly Way said, Mommy, love the vibes. Yes, Lord. Clementine, quality of life is crucial. Beverly, I want to go to Jamaica for my 60th. You go. Red Fox say, hell yeah. Player. Right? Susan say, I refuse to work to die. I get away once a month, and most of the time my kids are with me. I said them thing them I talk about, you know. I also don't mind having alone time. Right? That's what it's supposed to be, man. Red Fox. Once my son gets the knack of money management, he will be ready to do anything he so wishes. He does live his life to the fullest now, though. 'Tis what it is. You know what I mean? Listen, I think it should be a given to take a little vacay and live. Now, let me clarify. Because with everything, there are extremes, right? So while we're teaching our children to live, we can't handicap them either, I know. Because sometimes we do that too. We handicap our kids. So we ain't able. And we do them things. You know, we got to try to create as well-rounded a kid as we possibly can. Now, we live in a world and a time where TV and social media has as much, and as a matter of fact, let's just call a spade, more impact and influence on your child than you do. Right? TV does that. Social media does that. The radio has more impact on your child than you do. So right now we're living in the world where, you know, marijuana, for example, is, I don't want to say legalized, but decriminalized in certain societies, right? And then a lot of our young kids have been taught that, you know, it's just cool to smoke and chill. Cool to smoke and chill, not you. But there's a difference with the living and the allowing our kids to grow and be humans and live a life than allowing them to incapacitate themselves unintentionally, right? I have conversation with some kids, and when I realize that, you see, when the ones that just want to smoke and do absolutely nothing with their life, if you ask them what's going on, they'll tell you, well, I want to be an entrepreneur, you know what I mean? That's what I want to do. Ask the smokers what they want to do. Every last one of them that wants to smoke and not do a damn thing, guess what they say they want to do with life? They want to open a dispensary. I know about 10 kids right now, straight up, talk about they want to open a dispensary, not thinking about the fact that that's a business and probably you should go to school and get a business degree, do what you got to do, or at least study business from those people doing having successful businesses. Nah, they want to smoke, and they can justify it by saying they want to open a dispensary because there's an avenue that's opened up right about now that supports their habits, right? It's no different from the kids I know that sit down at home and just want to play video games and not a damn thing. Guess what they tell you? I watch TV and YouTube. Guess what they tell you they want to be? I want to be YouTube creators and content creators, and I want to test video games and all them things. All logical career choices, right? That 1 in 10 million will have. It's no different from everybody who's got hoop dreams and the rap dreams. Do people make it? Yeah. What are the odds? Not good. Not good. Sometimes people don't really realize that there are more doctors and lawyers brand spanking new every day coming into the workforce than there are successful musicians. There are more lawyers, doctors, accountants, educators coming into the workforce on a daily basis than they are successful pro athletes. All right? You can tell the amount of football teams and the amount of basketball teams that are out there and baseball teams. You know it, right? It's not infinite, right? The NBA, for example. What is it, 30 teams? Something like that? Okay. And then, of course, we got all them teams, and we can tell how many people are on a team, right? So that's the league, right? But how many hospitals are in your county? How many attorneys' offices are in your county? How many institutions of higher education are in your county? How many Fortune 500 companies exist in your county? How many successful small businesses are in your county? A crap load. How many counties are in your state? A lot. How many states are in the country? Some say 50, some say 51, right? So do the math right there. You have a greater, probably 100 to 1 shot of becoming a successful medical healthcare professional. And I say doctors, it could be nurses, anesthesiologists, surgeons, whatever. You know what I mean? Medical billing, coding, all kinds of stuff. All right. You could be a tech professional, right? You could be automotive engineer, All right. How many of us right now work in companies that we never dreamed we would have worked in? Some engineering, right? There's so many ways out there. There are way more ways out there that you could be successful than the way you see on TV. And truth be told, the reason why you think that thing that you see on the TV is something that you could probably do too is because the person that's controlling the TV is successful at what they're doing. It's no different from the guy that's selling the self-help book or the guy that's selling the get-rich book, the How to Make You a Millionaire book. What up, Hope? Hey, yo, world. The person who's selling the How to Make You a Millionaire book didn't become a millionaire and write how to do it in the book. They wrote a book that probably will make them a millionaire. Right? So it's not about the info in the book that's going to make you a millionaire. It's about the fact that you're going to buy this book that's going to make them a millionaire. So at the end of the day, we also got to focus on our options that are around us, right? And have the convo with our children. Stop handicapping our kids. Again, I'll take my kid to vacations with me or whatever the case may be. But one thing I've always taught her is how to save, the value of $1. This is what you got to do. This is how you turn $1 into $2. I'm not a millionaire, so truth be told, I cannot teach her how to be a millionaire. I don't know how to do that. The day I figure it out, but I can't tell her that because I don't know how to. I could teach her to do all right in life. That's how I know how to do. Right? But I'm not going to handicap you. Right? As long as you're going to school and you're doing what you're doing, yep, you're here. You're not going to be a professional student, though. That's not what we do. We don't go to school just so that we can avoid the real world. No. We go to school to get an education, right? And education doesn't necessarily mean college, and it can be a trade school. It can be anything. It can be anything, right? I just want you educated, right? And if you have interest in a particular field and you can find your way, navigate your way to that field to get the information, whether it being interning with somebody, just studying at the feet at somebody who does well at it, hey, I ain't mad at you. Home is where the heart is. You stay right here, you get that together, you get that good, right? But you ain't going to just sit here and chill. It ain't happening. You can chill. You can chill out there, but you can't just sit and chill here. It don't work that way, right? So sometimes we got to be very careful too, because a lot of times the detriment of our child is really the enabling of their parents. Live, learn to live, teach our child to live. But at the end of the day, if you don't teach your child to live and to fend for themselves and to prepare to live for themselves, what if something happened to you tomorrow? Because here's what I've seen. I've seen parents who didn't necessarily teach a child how to fend for themselves and how to live. They coddled them, cradled them, and did what they did, right? And then something happened to the parent. And guess what happens after that? Whatever the parent has, go to the child. But the child doesn't have any money management skills, nor do they know how to really take care of themselves. So that little resource gets depleted, and then they are worse off now than they were before. And eventually, technically in a worse state, and technically not long after, they joining you in the pearly, right? They're joining you because they're not prepared for life, right? So we need to live. We need to learn to live. We can't get caught up in the system of let's just go grind. But we also got to realize that we can't just chill. You know what I'm saying? DJ Lance, large of himself. What is? Paulie says, make something like youths. I got a Golden Troil College Bricklane. See there? You can act anything. You can achieve anything. Yep. You can. But again, we started out saying, you know, we live in these homogenized societies and we follow these created concepts and rules of what we should do. And sometimes it's not healthy. I think people should be able to take a minute and explore. That's the reason why I don't believe in 18 and you're out. You know, no 18-year-old is an adult and really know what they can and will do. Even going into college, a lot of time people don't know what exactly they're going to do until it's almost time to graduate college, right? So at the end of the day, people need to live. Because a lot of times it's going out there and living a life that will help you determine what you want to do and what that passion is, where your calling is, so to speak. A 21-year-old, 22-year-old, of course, if you can't afford it, that's still a child. And again, I'm not saying you should not have them out there doing what they do and, work and contribute and whatever the case may be, but that's not an adult. And they may need time to find themselves. As long as you're not handicapping them, let them find themselves. Because remember, something I always tell my daughter, and I don't want to go the morbid route, and it's not scaring her, but let's just face reality. I never thought that we all expect our parents to go before us, but I ain't gonna lie, I never envisioned. I couldn't realize in my mind, I couldn't reconcile in my mind ever my mother not being here. I lost my mom at 62 years old. She was 62 years old. Grown woman. But I just couldn't reconcile. I couldn't fathom that until it happened, right? I lost my brother. He was 42 years old. I never, in my wildest dream, would think that there would be a day that my brother wouldn't be around. Never. Say all of that to say, I tell my daughter the same thing. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. You don't know if I am going to be here tomorrow. So I just want to make sure that if I am not here, you are okay. And when I say you are okay, I don't mean that you're cashing your life insurance for me. I'm saying I hope you are prepared to do life on your own, right? So we got to learn to live. And if you have your kids and you sit down right about and you realize that you've never taken a vacation with your kid, if you've never really spent quality time, listen, if your kid is 30, you probably should still do it. Pay for the vacation if you can, right? But sit back and look at it, grown folks. Have you really lived? Have you really lived your life? Or have you existed through this life? And again, it's not just about taking vacation. I'm talking about just sitting back. Sit down at home with your child or your spouse or your friends and just break bread. Right? Because sometimes, again, don't get it confused. It's not all about hopping on a flight or hopping on a cruise or going on a road trip or whatever the case may be. It's about detaching yourself from the hustle and the bustle. Sometimes fire the grill up if you got one. Grill some chicken, jerk some chicken. You know what I'm saying? Jerk some chicken. Fry some fish. Pop up a couple bottles of beer, whatever the case may be, and just sit down and engage each other in a conversation and just have a meeting of the minds and just converse and relax and chill. Do that for a weekend. This weekend, I'm at your crib. Next weekend, Saturday you're at my crib. Sunday, I'm at yours. You know what I'm saying? The kids are there. They see that too. Again, we're not hopping on flights or whatever, but they see all that too. We're in the back, some music playing, you know what I mean? Split, splashing all over there. That is living too. You know what I mean? I have a virgin of mine who grew up with his stepfather and his mom. And, when I talk about it, it's like, it's almost like his step pops is always at work, even when he's not at work. Always that stoic, even when he's home, he don't smile, doesn't know how to enjoy himself. And up to the day he passed, it was like that, And you have those people too where you try to enjoy yourself. You can't even enjoy yourself too much around them because they don't like it. I know people right now, adults who do not know how to enjoy themselves, and they actually have an issue with fun. How many of you know somebody like that? How many have a father or a mother growing up as a kid and it's a Caribbean dictator? If you seem like you're having too much fun, they just gotta throw a monkey wrench in it. Even though the week went by and you went to school and your grades are good and all that. No, you're having fun out there with your kid and making them like, boy, stop your eyes, pick up a book. It's like they just cannot let you have a good moment. And they grow up, right, and get older, and you become an adult and you're doing your own thing and you realize they've never changed. They come in from work and they just suck the life out of the room. And they're just always screw-faced and whatever the case may be. And your mama or you whomever, just you cannot sit at in her mind. She's like miserable, and if she wants to have a good time, she got to go to her friends or her sister or whatever the case may be. Because this dude, and it goes both ways, gender wise, but this person is just not into enjoying life, right? Red Fox said, "Oh, you heard me. You have been listening to our conversation. You want them to go, but you have to make sure, yes, not enable them, but don't send them out there knowing they are not equipped." Hold on there. Where are we? For the world. True that, you know. But here's the thing though, Red Fox. Truth be told, you know. And I've seen this too. And I'm going to be straight up with you. A lot of times it's come from the mamas more so than anything else. Right? When are they equipped for the world? You have to... Put it this way. Like I said, I got a daughter. She's 21 years old. You can't be 30 years old and not equipped for the world yet. You know, you can figure that out the road. You're not going to be at my crib, but once you get to that, I tell her like 25 years old. Again, if you're at home and you're building, right? Let's say you go to school and you decide, listen, Dad, I want to go for my master's. Like I said, no professional students around here, right? Or you're working and I see you stacking to do your business or to do this. We good. But you're not going to be not 28 and not this and that around here, you know. I sit down and if shoot 25, 21, 22. Here's the thing. She's finding her way. She's got a job. She's out there working. You know, come home. We talk. We have meeting of the minds. I hear her plans, whatever the case may be. But if she had decided, I am not working, I'm just chilling, but I sit on your son, go and waste your time and daddy, let me tell you what would have happened. You would have been out, right? Like bell-bottom pants. Out. Out, out, out. So don't put them out there. My comment to her all the time is, I am going to let you fall on your butt, but I'll never let you fall on your face. All right? DJ Lance said, true. Cook, make some friends eat. What do you mean? Let me tell you something. There's nothing to me, no vibes. But I think of the greatest fun moments that I've had. Yes, I can say, oh man, it was in Portland, Jamaica at Heaven Villa. You know what I mean? Or I can say, oh my Lord, it was in Amsterdam. You know what I mean? Chilling with the homies, like whatever, some great time. Going up the Eiffel Tower, you know what I mean? Almost getting into fight, Paris. I don't mean, let me not live there. You know what I'm saying? Some relaxations, because it always includes some good people, and it's always the same people. You have some people you can't carry away, You always have to identify your friends that are the buzzkills. You love them, but you're not carrying them nowhere, right? When you're making plans, them not hear about the plans until you don't know the rooms sell out, right? And sometimes you can be straight up and honest with them and say, listen, nah, we good, but I'm not caring about, you're too negative. You can come on my vacation and kill my buzz. We all got those people. Cut them, boom, boom, boom. You leave them out of that, right? But all these things, I can think of some memorable moments. But the times when I've laughed the most and enjoyed myself the most and they stick in my mind the most and I never have to try to remember where I was are those days when we're in the back of the yard. You know what I mean? Like I said, the kids are splashing all over the place, right? The grill's fired up, right? Grill's fired up. We got the grub, you know what I mean? The cooler's over there. Got a speak over here with some music playing in the backyard and we just enjoying and having a convo. Now, that is what COVID took away from me and that's what I miss. Do I not want to go travel to some places that I want that are still on the list? Hell yeah, I still want to go to Thailand. I still want to go to Japan, right? Yeah, I still want to do all that. I still want to go to Tahiti. Yeah, I still want to do all that. Australia's on the bucket list too. Yeah, and New Zealand. Yeah. But am I missing something? I am missing chilling at the crib with my close people, right? Drinking a cold one, Will and a Reason, a grill full of jerk chicken, right? Some roast fish over there, so, right? Some roast corn over here, so, right? Or the game on or whatever the case may be, and we just chill. Not true DJ Lands, where he said, cook, make some friends eat, break bread, love. You know what I mean? Love. Right? Red Fox said, love my son, but I won't stop fighting with him until he get it straight. Then yes, he can go. How old is your son, Red Fox? And you say I can fight with him until he get it straight. Suppose the fight lasts until he's 40 years old. Are you still fighting? Remember, say him still young, you are get old and so at the end of the day, your fighting capacity is going down. People say let him go and rough it, but my parents did not do that to me, so I won't with him. I hear you. You have to be very careful with that thing, Neto. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, that's not even a conversation I would have with you because mamas take that away, right? Mamas be breastfeeding children until they're 49, right? And some of the times it have nothing to do with the kiddie, I have a brethren who him and his mama have codependency issues. He's dependent on the mama dependent on him. The mama might not be dependent on him for money, but companionship, and she like having him there. She all sabotage him on relationship. It's been obvious, all right? Because you want him there. And I'm not saying, Red Fox, I'm not saying that's you, but what I'm saying is we have to be very, very careful. Because also, if we put the memo out there to our child that, hey, until I think that you figured it out, then we just gonna sit here and bump heads and this is a cuddle, this is where you're going. No. Hells to the no. Because they will play the game. And at the end of the day, again, remember, let's say you had your child at 30 years old. Let's say you had your child 20-something years old. There's a 30-year gap, 20-year gap, whatever the case may be. They got time to mess up and rebound and recover twice. Right? But you might be, if you 50 right about now, if you 50 right now, right? The Bible said 2 scores and 10. We're talking about 70 years old, right? You 50 right now, you pass the hill. The hilltop is 35. You over it. That's why they use the term over the hill. You start going on. So right about now, you ain't got the strength, the time, the energy, or the options to recover as much from a fall. So here's what happened. You let him go fall, right? And hope to God you gave him the guidance and the things that he needed. Because at the end of the day, if he ain't got it, then you probably ain't give it. That probably you not give to him. Let's just call a spade a spade. If you got somebody out there and at a certain age they don't have certain things, you did not give it to them. And if you didn't give it to them over all these years, when you plan to give it to them? It ain't tomorrow, right? So I do also know, I know children that are people who are of the mindset that, yo, man, I'll let him go, I'm a child, right? And trying to make sure that they get it together and so forth. But guess what I noticed with that situation? There's 2 of those situations that come to mind right now. Guess what I noticed with that? The both of those kids are now fathers themselves, right? Have 2 children, one have 3. Still live with the mother, right? It's a lot of issues because they were not prepared for life. It never means they never prepared for sex and they never prepared to have children. They have those, right? Because that's just biological right there and physical. So here's what happened. They're not necessarily providing how they should or whatever because they aren't prepared for that. They were being breastfed till them at 40 years old because they're older than me right now. But at the end of the day, that whole concept of, I'm going to get them ready, I'm going to make sure they're ready. The man, them are 45. Plus, never owned a house, never owned a condo, don't even think I've probably had a solid place in their own name. Don't even know if either of them have ever really bought a vehicle without mama co-signing on it because mama handicapped them. And it wasn't just about them not doing certain things. Mama handicapped them too because mama wanted them there, right? But you just can't verbalize that, so we will say all kind of things, right? But at the end of the day, sometimes we are doing them a disservice because if tomorrow you know wake up and your eyes not open, whatever it is you were not able to give them up until this point, them still not get it, and your ass is grass. Because here's what's going to happen. Whatever you have acquired, the hourglass is ticking until they give it all away. So if you were busting your ass and putting everything together and you chip out tomorrow, it's just an hourglass till your son gives it all away. And it's at square one. And then now they got to figure out on their own how to live. Now, if we had put them out on their own when they had the strength and the will and the wherewithal to recover and whatever the case may be, they would have done it then. And they would have been in a better place right now. And guess who else might have been here? Because I probably them stress you out and kill you. You. Right? You. I don't know anyone who has handicapped them kids in those ways and it turned out good for either party. And here's a crazy thing about those things too. This is my experience. And again, the views of G. Cole does not represent those of Royal Zionist Radio, Homegrown with G. Cole, any entity, right? Real Vibes Live, nobody. Most of the people, most of the mamas who I know who coddle them kids don't really allow them to be a man. This is just me. I never see any of those mothers live long. I have never seen any of them live long. Like, they always perish at a younger age. And when I say younger age, I'm talking about the 60s, whatever. You know what I mean? Those mamas I have never seen live to be no 80 and 90 years old. The mamas that I know, that I see that live to be 80 and 90 years old and strong and living their lives are the ones where their kids are out there doing their thing and contributing to mama's sanity. Right? Mama and papa at a certain age not supposed to worry about feeding the son. The son's supposed to every now and then even hide and slide some money in a mommy pocket when mommy not look. You know what I mean? Mama, daddy groceries supposed to be covered something. But we got to be very careful. It's a rare, me, rare. You a trip. You a trip. Pearly man, yes, Cole, I've seen a lot of parents left their house to their kids that they worked so hard for, and the kid lost their house. How you mean? Wagwan Lioness, how you doing? Great to see you. Clementine, I feel you, G. I love entertaining and cooking for the people I love at the crib. How you mean? If you can cook though, because some people at the road, not boy, if you stop it. That's all I'm going to say. Come to the barbecue. Nobody now show up at your barbecue, because you're there on your barbecue. Soup, a barbecue soup and a jerk porridge and them something, and I tell people, yo, come try this. No, not trying it. Not a backside. All right? Not happening. Not happening. All right? Holly said, my daughter Kaya, 16, so polite, proud of her. True. Red Fox, after having my son, my mom told me to come home. She did not want hardship from me. I left home at 40 years old when I got married and still married at 56 years old. He's not going to fail. Trust me. I live in a family that all boys succeed. The timeline moves. Succeed and the will do what he is supposed to. I will definitely invite you when it all go down. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Early May walk, go on. Had us an up top mood tonight. Been an amazing week, amazing day and weekend. It's been an amazing weekend, man. You know, speaking about not living and just things being a little crazy. This past weekend, I got an opportunity to go see my godsons, right? Like 2 of my godsons, 1 of my goddaughter. And believe it or not, I was there. The first one I went to see, last time when I saw him, he wasn't even talking full sentences. No, he's having full conversation with me. And I was like, damn. And I was like, I was talking to his mom. I'm like, it's been a year since COVID. So I haven't seen him, right? It's been a year. And I'm like, oh my God, man. My little guy, you know what I mean? And then I went to see my other 2 god kids, and it's the same thing. Tall, all the way almost up here. Kids growing up. You know what I mean? I had to give my hug 15 minutes, just hugging. I haven't seen them in such a long while. And I'm like, yo, is this what life is right about now? You know what I mean? So I got to prepare myself, my mask, my shot, whatever the case may be, so that I can't see these people. Guys, guess what? I need my people, man. I need my good folks, and I don't want to be reckless with it or about it. You know what I mean? But trust me, like we say, it's a delicate subject when it comes to kids and mamas, especially mamas and sons. Our mama would be 90 years old, and our son are 70, and she said, "He's on his way, man. He's about to make it." Yeah, what? He's getting it together. He's 70, mama. 70, right? So those things do happen. And of course, people do sometimes mess up and get an opportunity. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? The animals do it. Birds, after a while, the bird, poop, out the nest you go. They do it with ducks. Lions do it to the cubs, you know. Horses. You know, eventually, you got to go out there and learn. Learn. And again, sometimes the best thing I have to offer you is advice after a certain point in time. So I want you to go out there and learn the real life something there. And when you come in the obstacle, you call me and yo, moms, or dad, this is going on. And I'm like, yeah, I went through it too. Here's how you navigate those waters. It might be a little different now because times are different, but you know, here's just some advice. Try it, huh? Or combine this with your technique and see what happens. I got you. You know what I mean? But we also, because again, even when we have the kid at home and we cuddle them, and I guess what now? Them still out the road, that drop seed, like, you understand, them still out the road, yeah, Mercs, you know what I mean? Get their groove on. And then they get kids. And the kids are out there trying to do their thing. And the kids need advice. And the kids can't call daddy for advice because daddy don't have no real world advice. Daddy didn't go get none. Mama never go get none. So I have to be really, really careful. You know what I mean? Give Talks, Red Fox. Thank you so much, man. I'm glad you're able to hop on. It's a joy having you here and all of y'all. You know what I mean? So we're recording podcast episode, and this is one of them. For all the people who subscribe to the podcast, Homegrown with G. Cole, it's available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, YouTube, wherever you're listening to podcast, we are there. All right? So subscribe. Hit up the YouTube channel too. Let's get those numbers up. So hop onto YouTube, look for Homegrown with G. Cole. This episode goes up pretty soon also. And again, before we get out of here this evening, bang, bang, bang. All right? Boom. Reggae Virus, first dose, comes to you courtesy of Tad's Records. I'm going to drop a joint off of that big bad Glenn Washington tune. You know what I mean? Thing done up. Load. But again, it's all about life. We got to live it. We also got to love it because this life thing, we only have one. Love the life we live. Live the life we love. Pass on from one generation to the other the concept of living instead of passing on the concept of existing. Right? Stop teaching our children that all life is about is hard work. I'm buckling down and sweating and all. Yes, the Bible says, "On the sweat of your brow shall you eat." You know what I mean? It's also the Bible telling you it's a sin for a lazy man eat. You know, it's a sin for feed a lazy man. You know, a sin to feed a lazy man. From the sweat of your brow, so shall you eat. If you're not sweating, you're not doing anything. No eating, right? No eating. And by no eating, I don't mean you blend it up and make a smoothie and drink it. I'm saying no eating. All right? Clementine, bless up. But let's just make sure, and again, like I said, not it's not a worshiping of mortality. It's not a morbid vibe. It's more all about the whole, if I'm not there tomorrow, you know, because I don't take it for granted. Like I said, I look around and there's so many people that if you told me shortly before, whatever, that they weren't going to be here, and I would say, nah, nonsense, and they're not here now, right? Just lost my aunt a couple weeks ago. You know, so you never know, but I just need to make sure. Pearly May say, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that. How to do what, Pearly May? What do you not know how to do? You know how to do everything. But let me know what you don't know how to do. But it's one of them things where I just got to make sure that, I prepare you. Let me tell you something. Like I said, I know grown people. We all are going to struggle and suffer. And if the opportunity comes and you have that base to go back home to, hey, do it, take advantage of it. But you can't deplete home base. My good friend, Mr. Roy Sweetland, when last we were here on this platform having a convo, he referred to the concept of pouring back some water in the well. You see, we live in a world where anytime there are resources that you only take from, you see it with Jamaica with bauxite, not every resource is infinite, right? When we see resources that we constantly take from, you know what I mean? It will be depleted. So we got to pour some water back in the well. We got to strengthen those who we go to get strength from, right? If whenever you're down and you don't have certain things, mama is who you go to for help to pay the bills. Remember, mama don't have a money tree in the backyard. So when you have money in your pocket or whatever, you're supposed to be putting water back in the well. Right? The person who you call for, I got you, Pearly May. I got you. The person who you call to give you some strength and whatever the case may be. Sometimes you must just call them and give them some strength, The person who you call for some encouragement. Sometimes you can just call them off. Don't be the caller that anytime you call the person to look on the phone and say, and then take the call. Yeah, I mean, don't just take. So we gotta pour some water back in the well, right? And the strength that mama and daddy have to put out to make sure that this wheel keeps turning and the lights stay on and stuff like that. You gotta put some water back into the well. If the only thing you can do is just make sure that, you know what, I'm here. Let me relieve you of this burden and that burden. Because like I said, I believe and I'll let you fall on your ass, but I won't let you fall on your face. You know what I mean? So while you're learning, while you're growing, while you're building, I got you. But I got to see the growing and the learning and the building going on. You can't just sit down to them and say, yes, I am figuring it out. We don't do figuring it out around here. It's not so the thing work. We don't do that. All right? So do what you got to do. But again, in the cases of people with adult children, be mindful that you are not handicapping the children. And to be honest with you, a lot of times you are. And you know you are. Let's just call a spade a spade. The people who are handicapped with them know you're doing it. You know it. That's not business. Sometimes your own guilt. Or sometimes, you effed up and messed up back then and a hand was lent to you, but your circumstance was different. You did what you did. You went out there, you're trying to do it and it never worked. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to let them fly. And if they can't fly, when they come back to the nest, then let them come back to the nest. But they're going to come back stronger. They come back wiser and they're going to come back trying to help them get a plan together. You're going to help them with it. But if they never leave the nest, then they never leave the nest. You know what I mean? If they never leave the nest, they never leave the nest. It's Mark Johnson. It's called Life. We got to do